Live from the Business Radio X studio inside Renaissance Bank, the bank that specializes in understanding you. It's time for North Fulton Business Radio.
And hello again, everyone. Welcome to another edition of North Fulton Business Radio. I'm John Ray, and folks, we are broadcasting as usual from inside Renaissance Bank in beautiful yet chilly Alpharetta. And folks, if you are tired of the big bank experience, the mega bank experience where you're treated as a number, you can't get to a live person, and you really want a different experience, banking experience for your business, check out Renaissance Bank. In my experience, they're big enough to handle pretty much any need you can throw at them as a business, but they're small enough to do it in a personal way, and that's a magic combination. Go to renaissancebank.com and find one of their local offices and give them a call. I think you'll be glad you did. Renaissance Bank, understanding you, member FDIC. And now I want to welcome Mayade Samimi. Mayade is the owner of Urban Skincare Clinic. Mayade, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, John, for having me.
Yeah, it's great to have you here. Tell us a little bit about you and your business. How are you serving folks out there? That may seem obvious, but let's get into that.
Sure.
Yeah.
I am a licensed esthetician, certified acne expert, and laser practitioner. Been in the industry for over 10 years.
Wow.
And I founded Urban Skincare Clinic back in February of 2020.
What's your passion? Well, I mean, for skincare, where did that come from?
How much time do we have? It all started when I personally started experiencing adult cystic acne and wanted to find a long-term holistic solution. That's how and where it all started. And it has become a calling. I enjoy helping women with their skin clear their acne holistically without the need of any medication or prescription topicals, which is a much better and gentler way, but also helping women age gracefully. If injectables are very hot right now, but it's not for everyone. It's a very personal choice. So most of my clients come to me because they want to see results and they don't want to go under the knife or have any needles in their face.
Yes. Wow. Yeah, that does not sound like a great way to get well. One of the things it says here in the show notes about you that I find fascinating is that you've got over 10,000 hours of hands-on experience. That is a lot of experience. That's the Malcolm Gladwell level of expertise and experience, right?
I've been doing this for over 10 years.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So you really help women with their skin, but you do more than that, right? Because you're helping people with their self-confidence, their self-image, how they feel about themselves when they look in the mirror, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And it truly brings me joy when I see my clients look in the mirror and feel good about themselves, feel good about their skin, their self-image, and leaving makeup as an enhancement and not a necessity. Yeah, that right there tells me when I see that in my clients' eyes, that twinkle, I've done my job.
Yeah, that's terrific. I want to come back to that because I'd love to hear success stories later. But let's talk about the acne piece of that. You said that's adult cystic acne. Did I get that right?
Yes.
What is that specifically? We all know what acne is,
yes.
but how do you develop that condition?
Oh my goodness. Okay. So here's the thing with acne. Yeah. Acne is an inherited disorder of the pore. Pores that shed up to 5 times more than a normal skin type. At that rate, the body can't keep up. It turns into clogging and buildup. Mix that with oil, gets infected, gets clogged under the skin. A lot of things can trigger acne. But first and foremost, it's you're genetically disposition to it. I was born to have acne. All my siblings have had acne. My daughter will probably have acne.
Mm-hmm.
But what can trigger acne? A lot of things. As far as lifestyle goes, People want to look at their cosmetics, their skincare, their shampoo and conditioner for pore clogging ingredients, even detergent, fabric softener, a lot of things.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Interesting.
And when it comes to diet, this is what I do when someone comes to me for acne. I teach them everything I know, and we take a 360 approach to getting their skin clear. It's not just topical. A lot of it is coming internally, inflammation. And when we look at their diet, I want them to reduce, not totally eliminate, but reduce significantly their dairy intake, excess sugar, excess salt. What else? Hormonal changes. When young women come off of birth control, their skin tends to go crazy. Much more.
Yeah. Wow. That just the scope of what you just mentioned is mind-boggling, because I think a lot of people think that you're eating too much chocolate, or it's something, a real simple kind of solution to the problem, and that's not it. Particularly if the problem is a genetic related thing to begin with.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You got it. That's right. Yes.
So are there any specific ages at which adult cystic acne occurs or not?
The reality is acne affects 60 million Americans, and up to 85% of people tend to experience it at some point in their life, especially as women, and we go through hormonal changes. Not necessarily. It can start in adolescent years. For me, it didn't start until my early 20s. I was totally fine in adolescent years, teenage years. So it varies person to person.
Yeah. Got it. You mentioned that you have someone that comes to you, they're suffering from adult cystic acne. You take them through a questionnaire
Absolutely.
About what their lifestyle is,
Absolutely.
diet, how their hygiene products,
Absolutely.
etc.
Absolutely. Oh, stress. I forgot to mention stress, sleep deprivation, all these things.
Okay. All those
can
things
exacerbate. What happens with sleep deprivation, let's say, that raises the cortisol level in the body, and that leads into overproduction of oil, and that leads into clogging, buildup, and ultimately acne.
So you talk about your solution for this condition to be holistic. So let's define what that means. What is a holistic solution? Is that natural? Say more about that.
Okay, sure. Typically, if you go to a dermatologist for your acne, 99.9% of the time, you'll get prescribed an antibiotic or some sort of a pill, or these harsh topicals, harsh compounded creams and things to use topically. And I've seen time and time again, these antibiotics work. They clear the skin, but as soon as you come off of them, acne comes back or later on. Accutane, for example, is the end-all be-all for acne. And I have several clients who've gone on multiple rounds of it, and their acne has come back. So what's different with my approach is, first of all, I teach them everything they need to know, all the do's and don'ts, so that we can clear. Of course, we do some topical treatments in clinic. I customize a skincare routine for them to follow twice daily. It's customized for their skin type and acne type. And it all goes hand in hand.
Yeah.
Them following the diet guidelines, lifestyle guidelines, and receiving treatments topically. You'll be surprised. I've seen some great transformations in as little as 3 to 4 months.
Really?
Acne takes up to 90 days to surface, actually.
Wow.
So from the minute we start the process, we're trying to kill the bacteria, what's present, and prevent future breakouts forming. So I can go on and on about this.
Yeah, no, that's what you're here for. So thank you for this. Maya De Samimi, folks. She's the owner of Urban Skincare Clinic here in the North Fulton area. Maya De, I want to leave this and let's talk about helping women age gracefully.
Sure thing. I do that too.
Yeah. So what does that mean in practical language? What does that mean?
Mm-hmm. Think about someone who has a radiant complexion. Their skin just looks healthy. It's not looking too dry, too oily, flaky, red, anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Their skin just looks normal and healthy and balanced. So when women come to me with aging concerns, we're all aging. The goal is to age gracefully. I help them to do just that through in-clinic treatments and customizing a skincare routine for them to follow on a daily basis. Because here's the thing, when you go to a provider and receive treatments, it's just like exercising at the gym with a trainer. And then in between your sessions and on a daily basis, what do? You try to eat healthy and eat the right stuff.
Sure.
It all goes hand in hand. So what you're doing with your skin on a daily basis is the diet you're feeding it. So I help them be on the appropriate diet for their skin type and need. If that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it makes a lot of sense. So again, it's like the acne treatment that you prescribe. It's more of a bigger picture look at what a lot of aspects of the issue can and would be, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Are you trying to help women avoid plastic surgery?
Funny you ask that question. Most of my clients who are coming to me with aging concerns and want to age better and minimize fine lines and dark spots, they don't want to go plastic surgery route or even injectables. There's
Botox
Botox filler.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with those treatments. When done right, they actually do enhance someone's natural beauty. So my goal is to help women to feel good in their own skin, whatever that means for them.
Mm-hmm.
If it's the holistic route with me, advanced aesthetic treatments, or I'm happy to refer them to an injector.
Yeah.
So
you're certainly not, I'm not condemning plastic surgery here.
Correct.
So that's not what we're doing here.
Exactly.
What we're addressing is there are a certain number of people out there that might want that result,
Sure.
but they're scared of, they've seen horror stories or they're just scared of what might happen, right?
Sure.
And so they don't trust that for whatever reason, whether that's justified or not, they don't. So they're looking for other alternatives.
Absolutely. And when it comes to selecting a provider, whether it's a plastic surgeon or an esthetician or an injector, I always recommend people meeting with a few different places, going in for a consultation, asking questions, and their intuition will tell them who is the right provider, which place they connect with. Yeah, that's important. You want to like your provider.
Yeah.
and trust them.
Right.
And to be able to ask questions. That's been my goal. One of my goals, to be an esthetician friend to women, have a safe space for them to ask questions. That's why I created or started the Skin Coach in Georgia podcast back in 2022.
Okay. Say the name again.
The Skin Coach in Georgia.
The Skin Coach in Georgia podcast. Okay, terrific.
It's a
on all the major
space.
podcast
That's
platforms,
right.
folks. Yep.
To share my knowledge and bridge the gap between unqualified social media TikTok advice from influencers.
Oh, come on. You mean that we can't find great advice on TikTok? I'm shocked to hear that.
And paid dermatology consultations within my scope of practice, of course.
Sure.
But yeah, and it's been great.
We were talking a little bit about this before we came on the air about your podcast. That's a great reason to do for you to do a podcast. It occurs to me as you talk about this is for people to be able to hear you talk about it before they get the courage to come in.
Absolutely.
That's because that's really there's a lot of women that would like to kick the tires a little bit before they really sit down and talk seriously about their own solution.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So check that podcast out, folks. We'll put a link to it in the show notes. So adult cystic acne, helping women age gracefully. You're talking about lifestyle changes to help women with that. That's really what you're talking about here.
Sure thing. Yeah, because it's holistic,
Yeah,
right?
right.
I'm going to ask someone to apply sunscreen on a daily basis. That's first and foremost. A lot of people, it's not part of their daily routine, and it should be. Sun is the number one culprit of premature aging and ultimately skin cancer. Never mind the lines and brown spots.
Right.
But we tend to think, oh, when I go to the beach or when I'm at the pool, I'll apply sunscreen. But guess what? Daily exposure to sun, even if it's 10 minutes a day walking your dog, times that over 30, 50 years, it adds up, accumulates. I have a whole podcast episode on sunscreen.
Do you? Okay.
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
It's when most people, so it should be part of their daily routine, and it should be its own separate thing, not in their makeup. It should be part of, let's say, a daily moisturizer of SPF 30 or 50. And what I see is when people are not using sunscreen on a daily basis, it's one of two things. They haven't found a formulation they enjoy enough to want to apply it every day, which I don't blame them. Historically, sunscreens have been pasty and they stink and they don't feel good. They feel greasy, but sunscreen has come a long way. There are many different formulations on the market.
Right.
And so I encourage people to find one they like enough to use it every morning. Another thing is staying with a physical sunscreen versus chemical is better for our skin. Here's a quick sunscreen 101. Physical sunscreen, the way it protects our skin is it sits on the surface of the skin and acts as a shield. So it reflects the sun's rays. Chemical sunscreens absorb the sun's rays in the skin, turn it into heat before releasing it. Therefore, chemical sunscreens can be irritating to a lot of skin, especially sensitive skin types. Now, what is physical or mineral? Same thing, sunscreens. Two things. You look for zinc oxide or titanium dioxide. Those are the only two physical sunscreens.
So you're looking for this in the ingredients of
Yes,
the sunscreen
exactly.
itself.
Turn around the bottle and look
Right.
at the active ingredients. Oh, they're actually physical sunscreen is safer for our environment. Let's say you have it on your skin, you get in the ocean. Physical sunscreen does not disrupt the ecosystem, the reef ecosystem.
Sure.
Chemical sunscreens do, and they're actually banned in some areas like Hawaii and maybe Mexico, if I'm not wrong.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Mayade Samimi is with us, folks. She's the owner of Urban Skincare Clinic. So you said you had been in business since 2020, and you said before we came on the air that this is your fourth anniversary is coming up, and you got congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Yeah, you started at an auspicious time, didn't you? Right before the
Sure
pandemic.
did.
Yeah.
Right before, 6 weeks before that.
And here you are. So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
So you've got an event coming up, and I want to preface this by saying if you're listening to this show after, let's say, mid-January 2024, you may have missed that event, but check the website. Who knows? You may have another one similar
That's the
to
goal.
this. Yeah, okay.
That's the goal.
Yeah, but you've got an event coming up in which you seek to educate women
Yes.
about their skin. Talk about that.
So I wanted to host an anniversary event and celebrate, of course. But also I thought maybe why not make it educational? So I will do a presentation on teaching on unlocking secrets to healthy skin. I'll talk a little bit about aging, acne, all that good stuff. There is refreshments and lots of giveaways. It'll be a fun event. I'm so looking forward to it. It is on Thursday, February 1st from 6 to 8 p.m. at the Serendipity Labs in Alpharetta.
Oh, that's terrific. And it's you can go on your website, urbanskincareclinic.com, to learn more, to reserve.
Absolutely.
That okay.
Absolutely. Yes.
Cool.
They'll have to reserve their spot.
And again, if you are listening to this show after February 2024, check out the website. There's no telling what you may have going on. Yeah. Okay, we're right here in the middle of winter. It's, ridiculous 30 degrees outside or something. It's crazy. It's cold. For us, if you're in the north, don't laugh. So let's talk about winter.
Should we tell the northerners that some schools closed for cold weather? We didn't even have snow on Tuesday. Some counties, some schools closed.
Yes,
for just cold weather.
Absolutely. we are wimps and proud of it. Because,
yes, we are.
Because otherwise, we have great weather. But anyway, winter skincare tips.
Oh yes,
it's that time of year where
it is.
This time of year is tough on skin.
Yes, it is. Extreme temperature differences. Yes, whether it's too hot or too cold. Yes, I'll say this: there's a few things people should do and change in their skincare routine. Switching to a creamier cleanser. If they're exfoliating less, I'll come back to that. Switching to a more moisturizing, slightly thicker, if you will, moisturizer to occlude and hydrate the skin really well. Mm-hmm. But what I see in my clinic with people, a lot of people are missing the exfoliation step. I don't know why. Maybe there's not enough education around this skincare step. But we all should be exfoliating our skin about once or twice a week. Now, it depends on each person's skin type and need and whether they would benefit most from a physical or a chemical or an enzyme. But here's a high-level view. Let's talk cellular turnover deserves its own moment. So cellular turnover is essentially the process of shedding dead skin. And it's their replacement with newer, fresher, healthier skin cells. Now, our skin cells start out plump and full of moisture on the bottom layer of the epidermis, the outermost layer of the skin. As they travel up, rise up, they get flatter and drier. By the time they reach the surface, they're nothing but dry flakes that are ready to be shed off. Think about babies. Babies are cellular turnover factories. Completing this process in under 2 weeks. Now, this process slows down as we age. This happens naturally, right? How can we speed it up? I'm going to back up. A lot of things affects this process. Your diet, UV exposure, hormones, the weather, but most importantly, your age. So by teenage years, this process slows down to about 3 to 4 weeks. Hence why acne shows up most commonly in this phase of life.
Interesting.
But by your 50s and 60s, this process can take between 45 to 60 days.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So we need help topically removing these dead skin cells that tend to hang around and give us a dull look. And then replenishing that moisture in the skin and nourishing the baby cells coming through. Exfoliation is important. Do exfoliate your skin even in the winter months, especially if you see flakiness. That's dead skin asking to come off.
Yeah. It sounds like that's important in the winter, but it's important year round.
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
absolutely.
But particularly in the winter.
Sure.
Interesting. Wow. Great information here from Mayede Samimi, who is the owner of Urban Skincare Clinic here in the North Fulton area. Mayede, I would love it if you could share a success story. Maybe you're obviously not going to mention names, but a situation that a patient person you've worked with who you've engendered great outcomes for.
Oh my goodness. I'll pick Alexa. Okay. She won't mind me mentioning her name because she came on my podcast. I've interviewed her and she is in her early 30s, was dealing and suffering from acne for 10, 20 years since teenage years, and was just hopeless and helpless when she came to me. I told her that I'll be here every step of the way, but that I would need her commitment to the process and patience. Our skin doesn't change overnight. It takes time. And so she did. She went on Accutane. There was like nothing else to do. I'm so glad she was patient and that she was dedicated to the process. Her skin just transformed in 3 months. She is acne free. She's acne scar free, radiates, and just quality of life is better. Mm-hmm. She doesn't feel the need to cake on makeup every day. And that truly brings me joy.
Yeah. Wow. What a great story. One of many, I'm sure you could tell.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Mayday, this has been great. And I can't imagine that there aren't some folks that hearing this interview wouldn't want to be in touch. So let's tell them how they can do that.
Absolutely. They can easily find me on Instagram or Facebook. Just search at Urban Skincare Clinic.
Terrific. Mayday Samimi with Urban Skincare Clinic. Mayday, congratulations on your great work. We're delighted we could have you in to celebrate it.
Thank you, John.
Yeah, thank you. Hey, folks, just a quick reminder as we close down here. Hey, if you're a solo or small professional services provider, I have a new book out. It's called The Generosity Mindset, A Journey to Business Success by Raising Your Confidence, Value, and Prices. If you're having trouble with the confidence you have in the value of what your product or service is, and you need help with your pricing, this book may be for you. Go to thegenerositymindset.com to learn more and find out how to buy the book. You can buy it in all the major book outlets. Also, I just want to thank you, our listener. You are gracious and generous, there's that word, with your support of us in this show. We're now up to, I think, this may be show number 740 or something like that. We're close to it anyway. And we've only gotten this far because of you and your support over the years. You continue to like us on social media, share the show on social media, and then even share it privately. If you know of someone who you think could benefit from Mayday's services, please share the show. And do that for any of the shows, the guests that we have on this show. By doing that, you're helping someone else. You're also helping our guests. And you're helping us, and we appreciate that. You're helping us fulfill our mission to be the voice of business in the North Fulton region. So for my guest, Mayday Samimi, I'm John Ray. Join us next time here on North Fulton Business Radio.